What's going on, everybody? Rob Doster here from the Field of 68. And today we're going to bring you another episode in our NBA Draft Prospect Profile series. These are going to be dropping throughout May and throughout June, a couple a day. So if you do like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and do hit that like button. Anything that you can do to interact with these videos, it really does help the channel. It helps more people like you find this content. And since I have you here, make sure you check out our Instagram and TikTok pages. We are going to be pumping out more unique content over there throughout the spring and the summer heading into the 2022-23 college basketball season. Like, for example, did you know that Penny Hardaway was shot when he was in college? I didn't know that. You can find that story right now live on our TikTok and Instagram pages. The links for those are in the description below. So without further ado, let's get into another Field of 68 NBA Draft Prospect Profile. Welcome back to another episode of the Field of 68's 2022 NBA Draft Prospect Profiles. My name is Rob Doster. With me today, young Sam Vecini, the host of the Game Theory podcast, a writer for The Athletic, and the best content creator that you will find on the internet. We're going to be talking about Max Christie today, who I believe, Sam, has said that he's not coming back to school. That's done, right? He's gone. Is he in the draft?
Per Adrian Wojnarowski, that is correct. Max Christie will not be back at Michigan State this year.
That's tough for Michigan State fans. I thought that he would be one of these guys that would have a chance to have a breakout year because, look, I'll be the bad guy here. Max Christie was not good last season. He came in as a five-star prospect. He came in as a guy that a lot of us thought would be the offensive focal point for a Michigan State team that needed an offensive focal point. And he ended the season averaging 9 points, 3.5 boards, a negligible amount of assists while shooting 38% from the floor and 32% from three. But Sam, I will tell you this. I like the mechanics on the shot, and he shot 82% from the free throw line. Can he get there as a shooter? Because I don't see how he can stick in the league if he does not get there as a shooter.
I think he can. Look, I've been high on Max Christie since he was playing for Illinois Wolves. I know that the year did not go great. I know that he shot 32% from three. I think he can shoot. I'm just going to say it. Like, you look at the shot mechanics, they look pristine. He gets good elevation on the shot. Like, he has very clear touch. He makes 82% of his foul shots. I think that he just missed shots in the way that freshmen who sometimes get overwhelmed by college basketball for the first time miss shots. That's going to happen sometimes. It's okay. Max Christie, I think, is good. I don't think he had a good year this year, but I think that long term, he's a very legitimate, interesting investment for an NBA team.
I don't disagree. And I think you're right about the shooting. The one thing that I would say is if you are going pro now, he's going to end up being a second round. But I don't think that you can take a first round pick on him. Right.
I agree.
I think that unless you see him put up Steph Curry numbers in multiple shooting workouts, I don't think that you can use a first round pick on him, which means you're going to the NBA and you're probably going to end up getting a guaranteed deal. But it's not going to be something where you're getting 7 figures for 4 years kind of guaranteed. You're probably getting like 2 years, 1 year guaranteed, another year team option, something along those lines, spending a year in the G League. When you can come back to school, you can cash in on a little bit of the NIL money. And if it all works out, you have a chance to be like a lottery pick. If you come back, like if he goes back next year, and I don't want to say that he would have a Jaden Ivey level breakout, but kind of like something in that neighborhood, I think we're looking at a guy that could be a lottery pick, top 20 pick. If, he just actually has just a teeny bit more confidence next year, a little bit more confidence when you shoot, a little bit more self-belief, Max.
I was surprised he did not enter the transfer portal, to be honest. It seemed like he was the kind of guy that was tailor-made for something like that. It didn't totally work at Michigan State last year. A lot of it was him just kind of standing in the corner when it felt like, especially early on in the process, like he was not going to be doing that. You watch some of their early preseason games or whatever, he was not that. Like, he was intricately involved in their offense. And then once the regular season rolled around, it was more like, hey, we're going to shunt you off to the side. We're going to let Gabe Brown rock. Didn't work all that well. So I don't know. Like, it's hard. Like, to me, like, he was tailor-made for the transfer portal. I would have rather seen him do that, go to a place. I don't know. Gonzaga has success with transfers. Like, let's throw out Gonzaga, right? Like, Arkansas has a million guards coming in, so maybe not Arkansas, but somewhere that has success with transfers, somewhere that has a proven track record of getting guys better. It maybe just didn't work at Michigan State, and maybe it'll work somewhere else. I think that NBA teams would be banking on the fact that it would work somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're going to have to hope that it works somewhere else because you're going to have to hope that it works in the G League now. Let me ask you this, right. And I know you're kind of you're diving into the brain of Max Christie here, but how much of this was just confidence and not being used the right way? How much of this was him getting maybe beaten down walking into a college basketball program where, I mean, look, let's call it like it is. Tom Izzo will get after his guys. Maybe it was just a bad fit mentally. And did that impact other parts of his game? Because I think the biggest thing here is if you're betting on the shot, right, you still got to be able to guard. You still got to be able to make certain reads. You still got to be a good ball mover. You still got to understand where you're supposed to be defensively. Can he do those other things?
I think he can. I think he processes the game really well in terms of his passing. Like, he's not the assist numbers were not crazy this year, obviously, but it's because he wasn't collapsing the defense because he didn't have the threat of his jumper to really rely on, right? Like, he was hitting 32% from three, wasn't playing as confident. And again, that I think that Michigan State in some ways was probably telling him, like, don't go beyond what your means are, right? Which is reasonable for them. They're trying to win ball games. Like, I'm not blaming Tom Izzo for this. I just think it was a reality of where Max's game was because the shot wasn't falling. So I think that the critical thing is that the shot falls. Once the shot falls and he can do it off of movement, I think Michigan State actually did a decent job of getting him off of movement and showcasing the way that his balance works in terms of his shot. I think he does have good balance on the shot. So, like, once the shot turns and once he starts making shots, and I think he will, the rest of the game rounds into form because you have that pressure coming at you defensively. You can attack a closeout. You're going to collapse the defense. You can process the game. You can hit kickouts, right? This year it was all escape passes. There was no reason for teams to really respect him, right? If you think he's going to shoot, the whole game comes together, I think. If you don't think he's going to shoot, you should not draft Max Christie, basically. There's no purpose in it. Like, I think he's going to shoot, so I would draft him. But, like, if you don't think that he's going to be anything even beyond a 35% three-point shooter, he's not that valuable, and that's okay. But that would be a mistake for him to leave if that was the case. But I've talked to enough NBA teams that at least have interest in him as a project, given that he is 6'6", he can shoot the ball, he plays a position of value that NBA teams are constantly on the hunt for. I think that this probably will work out okay for Max, that he's deciding to go pro.
So what you're saying is it's a make or miss game. Do I have that right?
It's a make or miss game, baby.
It's a make or miss game. You heard it here first. Listen, this has been another episode of the Field of 68's 2022 NBA Draft Prospect Profiles. Today, my guest was Sam Vecenie. I will link the Game Theory podcast to the YouTube channel and the Apple Podcast feed in the description below. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the channel and follow his stuff. Make sure you like this video too. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We're going to have more than 40 of these profiles coming out throughout the month of May and the month